Oh, that guy's an egalitarian. He's a good American. He believes in equality. He's like JFK, Martin Luther King Jr. If that guy was in control, he'd be fine. But I don't understand why he calls himself a fiscal conservative when he has all these liberal ideas. Hey, well, they'll bring your taxes down. They'll bring everybody's taxes down. I know. If you just ended desperate poverty through a basic income, it would bring everybody's taxes low. Crime would plummet overnight. The need for social welfare would plummet overnight. Okay? The need for debt, individual and national debt, would plummet overnight. These dubious wars couldn't get started, so of course your taxes are going to go down. So there's nothing wrong with an intellectually honest fiscal conservative, because they may not even realize how liberal their policies are, because a lot of them are opposed to any giveaways. They all call that, that's bad. I mean, Alex Jones himself, he'll never talk about the fact that a lion lives twice as long in captivity. Okay, twice as long. It goes from living 5 years, look up these facts, approximately 5 years in the wild, the big cat, the lions, approximately 5 years in the wild, but they'll live 10 years domesticated in captivity, taken care of. Talk about that. No, he wants to talk about the squirrels at the park, how they get unhealthy because you're feeding them peanuts and crap. That, of course, that's not natural. They're not growing around there. The squirrels aren't digging up the peanuts and eating them. And if they had to dig it up and eat them, and they'd be fighting against the other elements out there, the farmers for one thing, and they'd only get a couple of peanuts. They'd look for other things up in the trees like walnuts, right? And then they got to fight the farmers then too. So they go to the black walnuts, which not too many people want because it's very little meat and a very hard nut to crack. So the squirrels will eat other stuff. They'll find, because otherwise they'll get in trouble. They'll get themselves killed and whatnot. So Alex Jones, people want to feed him bread too. We all see this unhealthy, giving them the birds white bread and all that. Of course they're going to get unhealthy. They're still living in the wild, but he'll say, oh, well, the reason that you're not supposed to feed them is, you care for them, you pamper them, and then they die. They get unhealthy and weak and diseased. But he won't talk about the lions, okay? We're not any other animal. We are human beings made in the image and likeness of God. Okay, and if you want to talk about getting rid of welfare, Alex Jones, then talk about Section 8. Talk about that $50 billion a year you are paying to subsidize Robert Kiyosaki's next purchase, okay? Next apartment complex purchase or development project, whatever he's doing. That's where it's going. That money is going in the pockets of wealthy property management companies, landlords, flippers, speculators, investors. That's whose pocket that money is ending up in. It's not ending up in the pockets of the poor. You better talk about it, because the reason you won't is because you're being intellectually dishonest. You know the effect it would have on housing, and you think it's a good thing that housing prices are going up. You think that under increments are good. You call it a boom. You boom for other people, that now the poor are going to benefit from this. How the poor aren't benefiting. California, we've got more than half the people are renting. How are housing prices going to higher? How is the price going to be intellectually honest? It's frustrating me. Be real. Be honest. Be somebody. I don't want your blood on my hands or head. You're going to go to hell. So you don't have to answer to me, but you will answer to your owner. And you might be dead today. Any one of us might. So you don't have a lot of time. The window is very small and temporal. We're here for a little while to get our act together and be exactly who we want to be. Not who we want to be superficially, topically, or otherwise. Okay? Deep down inside your heart of hearts, your mind of mind, in your spirit, in your soul, in your conscience, your integrity, your honor, in who you really want to be, must be. That isn't for sale at any price. Be that person. And be honest. So if you're going to talk about the squirrels getting unhealthy in the park, and that's the reason why you don't feed them, so be it. Okay? But also bring up the fact that the lions live twice as long, domesticated and taken care of, pampered. Okay? So don't give me this idea that we're supposed to fight harder and harder and harder and work hard and you can get ahead. Does that mean we should work harder and harder and harder and harder and harder? And that nut should get harder and harder and harder to crack. And that little bit of meat gets harder and harder to get to. And there's less and less of it to get to. Is that the way it's supposed to work? So all you big people, you people that say, oh, that's the answer, just work hard. You get all these lazy people that want everything given to them. This entitlement class and all this. You're not going to talk about the Cloward and Piven strategy, the deliberate impoverishment of the masses. Okay, how the wealth and income disparity is created through fraud, criminality. Okay, bull, man. I'm calling you out, man. Be somebody. Be honest, for God's sake. At least do what Christ said. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So unless you want to pay an inflated price for housing, don't charge somebody an inflated price for housing. Don't care about what your peers think. So many people, landlords, oh, well, my peers find out, and they find out that I got the lowest rent. They're going to look at me with consternation and scorn. I can't do that. I've got to keep up. I got to keep my prices up so that I have respect among my peers. Man, I am so done with the evil in the land. And I believe God is done too. And I believe that Judgment Day is imminent. And it may come as an allegory, a metaphor. It may mean, this whole literal return of Christ and the holy angels and all this that, people, Christians loftily talk about. Maybe it'll never happen. But it's going to happen as an allegory, because as the masses are empowered with the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and they don't let people hide behind their ignorance's bliss veil anymore, okay, you're going to see things change at the hand of God. It is no less than the power of God in the land that's turning things around. Okay, Roseanne, yeah, you know what? At first I was just going to talk a little, and then all this stuff started upwelling in my mind about Roseanne. So this is going to take a while to get through this Roseanne business. And whatever happened to sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can never hurt me. What are we all supposed to walk on eggshells and ever thinner eggshells all the time? How American is that? When people are afraid to say anything because they're afraid. I mean, everybody's just got... We're all just going to be sitting around yeah, I'm thinking these things. They're in my heart, but I dare not say anything, so I'll just repress it and just be some evil little pissant out there, bottling it all up. You sicken me. All you people that would squelch free speech, man, it's a two-way street, too, so you watch your step! Damn it! I've had it with this un-American crap! I've had it! I'm sorry. God almighty, help me. Help me. Is bitter water coming out of my stream? I'm sorry if it is. I apologize to anybody. I don't want to offend anybody, but I'm so upset about this. Be freaking honest, man. Big deal. So what? Roseanne said a stupid thing in a drunken state. So what? People are found driving their freaking cars on Ambien, don't remember what the hell they're doing. They're sleepwalking. So she did a stupid tweet. She's a freaking comedian. She's drunk. And you're going to fire her whole cast, loses their jobs, and you're going to lay this on her head, that she's just some big fat evil racist that deserves to be condemned by sanctimonious decent society? God almighty help you. Roseanne, there's Eastern philosophy. With the mind, observe the mind. You got this higher mind. You could decide to... before you speak, you could look through it and say, wait, maybe I'll think twice about saying that thing. Maybe I was harboring the wrong things in my heart. And so that's where it starts, the way we think. But they're comedians and they think differently. So the stuff that's going to come out of my mouth is different from a comedian. All this stuff, all these notes about... about Roseanne. And I've mentioned some of them. But Roseanne is playing the J card, And, I probably would too. If I was a Jew, I guess I'd probably play the J card too. I mean, she's being roundly condemned. I took English in college, and you learn that words can evolve. And there was a time when if you called somebody nice, okay, that was a pejorative term. That was like calling them stupid. If anybody that was nice was a stupid person. And in fact, a group of hairy women was a gorilla. You can look up these factoids. I learned this when I was a teenager in college, okay, so... words evolve, and it just, this whole idea of us getting all bent out of shape over a couple of stupid words somebody says. I mean, grow some freaking skin, for God's sake.